Everyone is Dan with Alpha Traders. Looking at Apple here. Um, so, it's amazing about a lot of this other growth and a lot of these other stocks. And you look at Apple and you're like, man, that's not bad compared to where we were. We are with a lot of other names in tech. And Apple has held in there. I have to give it credit. It's really been a stalwart, um, holding the market up into the 4400s and 4300s. It held it down here. So I'm very on the weekly, very just impressed with it. Now as we go on to the daily here, we're starting to form a bounce that probably ends up going down. I would think I'd think the 150 days lost again because it closed just underneath it. I would expect them maybe in the morning to go fill that up a little bit and then drop it down. That'd be my guess on that. But you got to think that the 100-day is going to get tested at 162 this week. I am actually I don't usually play Apple. I'll be honest with you. I usually don't. I don't think the IV is as obviously it's not as good because it's so weighted down, and I don't think the options work as great as some others. Now, do I think you should own Apple if you're a long term investor? Duh. I mean, it should be like a stalwart in everybody's portfolio. Obvious reasons. But as a trader this week, if we looked at the weekly, and we can kind of see the confluence here moving into the daily. And to me, I would, I'm looking at this and saying, 167, we'll call it here. We'll even tighten it up a little bit for everybody. Call it 168.13. So we can call it 168. Trying to thread needles here. We'll call it 168. And looking at 168 moving forward, that's my pivot for Apple this week. If we open below, to me, I think a great play is the 165 puts. They'll probably be somewhere around $2. So you should be able to save, we should be able to save, to the 100-day at 163. And again, I'm not a big trading on the EMA type person, but for me, in my history, trading down to the EMAs has been much better than trading up into the EMAs. So when it comes to the downside, I start looking at the EMAs just a little tighter. I think maybe it's a personal thing because it's pretty clear where it's going to fall to, and these are almost like catch-alls, right? It's like a glove, it's or a bed, it's something falling, it's soft, and at least these are psychological levels for traders, and they see that and they go, okay, well we'll try to put a defense up here. I don't think 152 gets. I don't think 157. 157. If it's 157, the market's probably it's probably going to garbage and it's bad if it happens tomorrow. I do think later in the week, though. I mean, this is actually a good area. If you really look at it, the 162 to 160 area create a higher low macro, and you can see the theme that I'm going for. We're trying to create a higher low macro here. So when we come down, we want to see if we created a higher low versus these lows over here. So now if it does hold here, or maybe it gets to 160, 150, and it holds and bounces on Thursday, Friday, we'll call it. That gives us to show, okay, you know what? It did a bounce. It came back, retested it. Now it's going to give it that third bounce. And, it's going to create a higher low. And now we can feel confident in longing that. I will. I might even swing long. Not Apple probably, but I'll swing long some other stuff. Um, but yeah, that's Apple for this week. Super easy levels. This 168, and I'm looking at 163. That's where the 100-day is. AlphaTraders.com at AlphaTraders Inc. on YouTube and Twitter. Like, follow, live.